This episode of Kind of Funny Gamescast is brought to you by Blue Apron. Blue Apron is the #1 fresh ingredient recipe delivery service in the country. The mission is to make incredible cooking accessible to everyone. Not all ingredients are created equal. Fresh, high-quality ingredients make a real difference, so it's important to know where your food comes from. For less than $10 per person per meal, Blue Apron delivers seasonal recipes along with pre-portioned ingredients to make delicious home-cooked meals. Greg Miller, you might know the guy from his world-renowned Instagram series, Cooking with Greggy. He's all about this Blue Apron goodness. Check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals free with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/gamecast. You will love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home cooked meals with Blue Apron, so don't wait. That's blueapron.com/gamecast. No S in there. Blue Apron. Better way to cook.
All right.
Final topic of the day. Nintendo's conference.
Is it going to be a conference?
I think that's the biggest
Are they
question
gonna
right
snap?
now.
I think they're going to do direct.
The Switch. So, will they do the direct with the Treehouse app? I feel like there'll be a Treehouse no matter what. The Treehouse live stream all day, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do they do the direct? Do they do a live in-person press conference?
I do not think they do a live in-person press conference.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
What do you think?
I think they do. I think they kind of, I don't know. I think they kind of have to, don't they?
I think they do a direct, and I think that is the best decision they can possibly make.
Yeah.
I am all about hype, and I love being in the room,
Yeah.
and I love seeing people cheer, and I love the awkward audience interactions.
They're the
and
only
I
ones who
love
can get that
stuff.
weird, right? Yeah.
Like even when it fails, there's still something charming about it, and like having people come out on stage, there's definitely a showmanship.
Charming failures.
There's a showmanship
With Tim Gettys.
to be there and to have Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo next to each other
Yeah.
on that level.
Yeah.
Having said that, we saw what they did with the Japanese conference, and that was unacceptable.
We've seen what you have to offer.
And when it comes to American press conferences from Nintendo, they've had better ones, and Reggie is good at that stuff. But in order for us to get a Nintendo-style press conference like Sony did last year, I think their direct's the best bet, which is just games.
Yep.
games. And we saw it with Nintendo's recent direct for the indie presentation. Like, give me that.
That's the thing is, like, I feel like as somebody who now it has a horse in the race, like loves his Switch, is super ready for Kart, love blah blah blah. I am now excited for a Nintendo Direct that speaks to me.
Right.
And is Reggie? What's up, everybody? Welcome to our Nintendo Direct for this. And we've had such success with the Switch, and we're working on the supply problems.
And they're not playing catch up. They're playing from a little more of a position of strength.
Exactly.
Right?
We've heard what you like about the Switch, and we're so excited with it. And let's go through all these announcements of cool games. Here's a look more at the online features we're trying to sell you. Come soon, I guess. Let's do that. Let's announce a few different Joy-Con colors or some bullshit like that. Like, let's have this cool thing celebrating this thing that it was actually awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Mario Odyssey obviously is going to be featured. I say that they start the show with it. I think that could be a total easy. Like, we already know this is coming.
And they end it with Metroid.
Boom.
And they've said December on Mario. Do we
said
say
holiday.
They said
Holiday.
Holiday. Okay.
I believe it. I think you guys are crazy thinking this game gets
It's
delayed.
not that I think it's going to get delayed. It's that I'm saying it could very possibly get delayed.
I don't know, man.
I'm not betting against them yet. It is just that thing of I've seen this happen before with other developers. I've seen it happen with Nintendo.
I don't, as far as I know, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Mario has never been delayed. Like, the Mario games have hit their mark.
Okay.
So there's been the bundled Mario games, which obviously aren't delayed because they were in consoles. Yeah, I don't know.
Or even just like not bundled, but launch title games.
Right. Like I don't think either the Galaxy games
Galaxy both came out as. I mean, everyone thought that Galaxy 1 was going to come out closer to the Wii's launch, but like they didn't say that.
They didn't keep pushing it back, right? Dude, we talked earlier about how strange Nintendo's development is because it's so secretive in a funny way. They don't do what a lot of other developers do from like a show as they go. I mean, that's why Zelda to me is so unbelievable, is that game had to have been in development for God knows how long, as big as that game is and as complicated as that game is. And none of us saw it. Really?
Yeah.
I mean, like, we saw pieces, but not.
I mean, we saw the
I could
plateau.
have never predicted that was what that game was going to. I mean, ever. Does Mario go down that similar thing where they're just not going to show much of it and they're going to keep it real simple? It's Mario; they don't need to show a lot, but they've got this big weird gap now that I think they have to.
They got to fill. They really do.
If
and
Dust
again,
collects
the Nintendo
at all,
cycle begins. how long until your Switch gets dusty is the question. And immediately, now that I am quote unquote done with Zelda, like I'm already moving on to other stuff. And there's been a lot of fun little indie things. Snake Pass is great. I just beat Shovel Knight, Spectre Torment, and it is fantastic.
Is it good? Yeah, so I haven't checked it out yet.
I didn't realize that it was it's a full new game. It's a prequel.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Shovel Knight.
I thought it was just another piece of like the second
repackaged thing.
Shovel Knight, Plague, the Plague guy, whatever the hell his name is, Plague. Was it? Maybe it was Plague of Torment and Spectre of whatever. The first DLC pack, it was just a reskinned Shovel Knight with the different character movement,
different colors.
Spectre Knight is straight all new levels.
No shit, I had
most
no
of the
idea.
bosses are like remixes or whatever, but like it's a new game.
Graceful Explosion Machine next week.
Yep.
But okay, go ahead.
So we got a lot of these little games coming, and that's great. But
Snake Pass is out and is multi-platform, so that's not a just
true, but
Nintendo.
it's still as long I count it because it's
No.
something to play
I'm just saying
Nintendo.
as far as the what they're messaging about needs to be on the Switch.
Yeah.
There's a few of those that.
But my thing with Snake Pass is it is a perfect example of a game that could be on all systems, but people want to play it on the Switch.
Absolutely
and as long as the
agree.
Switch doesnn't get dusty.
Right.
With like they just need the consistent games that people are like,
Completely
I would
agree.
rather play this on the
Completely
Switch.
agree.
So they need those, but I think they need a lot more than that, right?
They do.
And I think that when the Nintendo cycle comes of the people that want to believe that this is going to be the best thing ever, get the best thing ever in the form of Breath of the Wild. Now my mind's racing of Mario Odyssey is going to be fucking crazy.
Right.
And it's like, that's scary. That's not a good thing to go into a Nintendo anything with.
To go into anything Nintendo with expectations usually blows up in your face.
I mean, because
That's right.
Nintendo, the Switch commercial, when they first showed the announcement of what it was, I was like, hell yes.
Right.
They're fucking nailing it.
Right.
They announced the Nintendo conference. I'm like, oh, this is, I'll never forget being with Kevin in New York, and being like, Kevin, this is it.
Yeah.
They're gonna do Sony's last E3 conference, but for Nintendo. And then they messed
Just
it up
shit the
so
bed.
bad.
Right.
So that's why with this E3,
They fucked it
need
all
to change it. And if this Mario is what Zelda was, that could be huge, right? Will we get Metroid? Will we find out what Retro's working on? We better.
I think they have to. I think that the challenge that they have, and maybe this isn't totally fair, but I think if dust does collect, figuratively, the Wii U comparisons will come hard at them very quickly from a lot of different places, right? Because that's kind of where things kind of got off the rails, was like, okay, now I played Zelda, it's this amazing experience, but if dust starts, that slide happens fast.
Yep.
And getting people back is going to be I think they have to keep hitting us with little, even if I say little, I mean, when is Kart? Kart is
April
April
28th.
28th.
the day before my daughter's birthday.
Kind of funny games.
Is
It's
it-
the day after mine.
27th? Yeah. No kidding. I'm a 29th guy.
Oh, man.
Taurus?
Yeah. The bull. But no, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Switches are going to get dirty. I do think it is this fact of the matter that right now the Nindies is such a great move because it is the antithesis of the Vita. Nintendo can't do what Sony did and just be like, no more AAA games for this thing. There's always going to be a AAA game on the horizon. And I think that the fact we're all excited about it, the fact we're playing it, the fact that literally I have Snake Pass on my PS4 and I have it on the Switch, and tomorrow on the plane I'm going to be playing it on the Switch. That's where I'm going to play Snake Pass, and then as I've said before, hopefully get really good at it, come back and platinum it, but I don't know if I actually will, but I'm going to play it there, and that's how a lot of games that Mr. Shifty, Graceful Explosion Machine, it's going to be that all these little games I want to
But isn't it going to have to be those? So like the thing that I think about a lot is, and you think of again, the complexity of these big games and the hardware required to run them.
Yeah.
How limiting is that going to be for them over time when it comes to third-party stuff? And also, is it only going to be the Snake Passes of the world? Because like I told you guys earlier, I travel a ton for work, way more than I would ever want to. I'm looking forward to traveling now for the first time in
plane rides.
Because
Gone.
I got a little issue with can I plug it in if it doesn't? Can you keep your Switch going without losing battery, even when it's plugged in?
Yes.
Some of those things you
need enough power. Like some of the planes don't have enough.
Oh, it's killing me.
juice.
Like it actually keeps the flight down here. I got
an anchor
in 2
battery.
hours,
You should check out.
Yeah. Anyway.
But so
is it
you're
going
right,
to limit
though.
them though?
It
Because
is,
they're going to get
absolutely.
into this weird all we can do is Snake Passy kind of games, and
But
if there's not
I
enough
don't
of them
think
out
that's-
there, if there's not enough of those kind of
There
games.
are. That's the thing is there are enough of those
Okay.
games.
All right.
I honestly believe that Nintendo doesn't need third parties to be successful. It needs third parties to be number one.
Right.
And I think that's a key thing to keep in mind. They're never going to do that. They gave up on that generations ago. And unfortunately, they're just not in that race. But the Wii U failed despite being a Nintendo machine, but not just because of that. The Wii U failed for so many different reasons.
Yeah,
the Switch can succeed being a Nintendo machine, especially when there's indies to back it up. And it just needs a couple key third-party games that do work.
Yes.
So let's not focus on the Mass Effect Andromedas that aren't going to play.
Sure.
What if at E3,
I did a Greg Miller.
Blizzard, Blizzard's like Overwatch is coming to Switch.
Oh, dude, could you imagine?
That would be a game changer.
Right, because graphically, I mean, Overwatch is incredibly complicated, but it's not a technical powerhouse.
I think it could do it.
It's that thing of what do you want out of your Switch, and I would love to play Andromeda on the go and do all these different things, you know, and like
heaven.
But like for me right now, it's playing Persona 5. And be like, fuck, and I want to pack it for this trip because I want to play it in the hotel room. And it's like, that would be awesome on the go. But if you jump back, I have an article here on Eurogamer, right, from January, January 13. Atlas doesn't know whether the new Shin Megami Tensei for Nintendo Switch will head west, right? And then on Kotaku from 2 days ago, Atlas announced the Shin Megami Tensei Deep Strange Journey for the Nintendo 3DS. Like, this isn't the article I thought it was. This is what happened. I'm Googling quickly on a show. But Atlas is talking about it recently, about bringing games to the Switch, right? It's going to be, where is the audience and what do people want from it?
Well, those games, that to me is a shoo-in. Like the third party, we're not talking about the JRPGs of the world. Like those, they've been in Nintendo's camp forever, so they're going to be there.
And they're not
They've
technically,
been on the 3DS.
I mean, even Persona 5 is not a demanding
Persona 5 could work on the 3DS. It worked on the PS3.
Can absolutely work on, I mean, it works on
pretty cool looking.
No, it's phenomenal, but what I mean is it's not a HDR quality crazy thing, right?
Yeah.
It could work on that, right?
Well, here's the other one I was going for. Atlas announced his new Etrigan Mystery Dungeon Shin Megami Tensei games for 3DS. Fuck, where's that? I swear to God,
Plus
I saw
a new
something
glimpse at Shin Megami Tensei for Switch.
Thank you. Plus a new glimpse at Shin Megami Tensei for Switch.
So that's the thing is, like, the Switch does have at the Japanese conference, they did announce a whole bunch of different games that were like, all right, cool, we'll see them one day. Fire Emblem 2018, they talked about. We know this stuff. They said Xenoblade Chronicles 2 coming in this year, and I'm like, that's going to get pushed. There's a chance it'll hit Japan this year. I doubt it. I think it's going to be pushed to next year. We're going to see Zelda DLC at E3.
Dude, Splatoon has got Splatoon 2. I mean, it's got a huge, like, even to this day, my kids play Splatoon. Now, granted, there's good and bad with having a game that 7 and 8 year olds play. But that game, there's a huge community still playing that game.
Sure.
And I think that the Switch is going to give it such a new boost.
Completely.
And it's going to give it a second chance.
Do you think Kart will too? What do you think Kart's going to do?
Kart's such a different, rare instance where everybody loves Kart.
Dude, I love
having Kart on a system is going to be, if not a system seller, it's definitely a system like use case where like it's not going to get dust because the Switch is about portability, playing games with your friends.
Have they said if they are putting out new tracks or is this a straight up port of the last? Because dude, their DLC was so good.
It's so good, and this is going to have all the DLC, and then for a lot of people like Greg, this is going to be his first real chance to dive into
the DLC.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
Let's play it.
But it's like I hated the Wii so much that I didn't play it, and the Wii sold so little that people didn't play it. And like you go back to Mario Kart Wii. Was a juggernaut. People own that game. The attach rate was insane.
Yeah.
I really think you are going to see that again here because it's going to be, I have a Switch. I loved Kart in the past. I loved Mario Kart 3DS or DS. Why not have those experiences again of being at PAX? And yes, you're waiting in line. You're all playing Kart together. We're all going to meet up at a fucking bar and play Kart together. And like, because that is going to be the meet and greet from now on.
Absolutely.
So just so you know, that is going to be the meet and greet.
We're fucking doing it.
My thing is, and this is the Nintendo apologist in me. As hurt as I was from that January conference, I am now looking at it, I'm like, all right, cool. They didn't make the decisions I wanted them to make or I would have made, but they made these decisions. Now, knowing this landscape, what do I feel about this? And now that we're seeing stuff, now that the Switch is out there, now that we know the buzz that it has, I'm like, all right, they might have made good decisions in giving the games, announcing the games, ARMS, Mario Kart, Splatoon, Mario Odyssey, and Zelda, obviously. That builds a path through this year where if they nail it with those, the attach rate's going to be ridiculous. Right now with Zelda, it's breaking records for attach rate and all that stuff, right? Coming out with Mario Kart, boom, that attach rate's going to be there. If they push ARMS the right way and convince people that, hey, you know what, this is worth playing, the attach rate's never going to be Mario Kart or Zelda levels, but it could be way higher than a new random IP that looks super goofy could ever be.
Yeah.
Right?
And this is also the thing too when you look at their what are they calling their store? Their eShop.
The eShop. Yep.
The fact of the matter is, all right, cool. Next week, this week I picked up Snake Pass. Next week I'm picking up Graceful Explosion Machine. Next week, whenever Mr. Shifty drops, I'm getting. If I'm buying one game a week, if Nintendo can say we're putting out 1 or 2 games a week, suddenly it's way more enticing to an indie developer, to a I always go back to Ubisoft and UbiArts to say, well, shit, why don't we make something like Valiant Hearts?
Nobody had that incentive on the Wii U ecosystem. Certainly, right? There was
Nobody's
And
playing
they
that.
tried though. Well, that's the thing though. There was a lot of great Wii U eShop games and 3DS eShop games, but there wasn't a system in place. So no one gave a fuck.
Right. By the way, have you picked up your Wii U gamepad since this? It feels like a weird little toy.
And so,
I like my Wii. I really do like. There's so many good games on there.
So many good games. So jumping off of that, the Wii U had so many good games.
Yeah, it's it.
And that is where we're at right now with this year, where it's like the Switch needs to get them. Right, the Switch. We need to get through this Portomania.
Yeah,
because the ports are important.
They're very. I agree.
On the Switch,
there's some really good games that never got seen on the Wii U that nobody got.
But even more than
Yoshi
that,
games. And
forget the games no one played, like the Captain Toads of the world, the Mario Karts. Right,
was great.
We can jump right off the gate here with the Mario Kart game. Now, you asking about will there be new courses? I don't know. That's what kind of scares me. When I think at E3, it's a shoe and we're going to get Smash. I think Smash is going to be announced. I imagine we'll get it.
For a quick release, you think?
I don't think so. I think that Smash is a game that they can, even though it's already been out, they can Like, in a perfect world, they're adding a couple new characters and
they bring Ice Climbers back.
The Ice Climbers.
Got to get Colin in
I
here.
guarantee Ice Climbers will come back. But they're going to keep coming out and like announcing new characters throughout the year because there's nothing more hype than Smash Bros. Trailers, right? At every direct they do, they can end with, here's another Smash thing.
Sure. New challenger approaching.
And then
you think Smash will work on the Joy-Con? You think that'll
be fine? But I mean, in a perfect world,
as a Smash guy, I'm not a Smash.
Add some GameCube controllers.
That's a game I wish
GameCube controllers.
Shut up and play Snake Pass, Kevin.
So
I like the big buttons.
But my thing with Smash is it's inevitably going to happen. I think Mario Maker is as well is inevitably
Mario
going to
Maker's
happen.
gonna be fucking dope.
Will Mario Maker be at E3? That's a bit more of a question mark to me. But those are, I think, shoo-ins. They're going to happen sooner than later, before next February. They'll all be out on the Switch.
Yep.
But that leaves the Switch in a weird place where it already has a Mario Kart, already has a Smash. Where do they go from there? So it's like, do they keep doing DLC for this Mario Kart and keep making new stuff? Or does Mario Kart 9 eventually come out? And if so, when? You know?
I think they go DLC. I think they go as good as the DLC was. And it was fantastic. Like, that was the way to do DLC. Like, I would have bought up whatever they had for that.
Never make another Mario Kart
My daughter
again.
plays, that's one game she'll sit down and play separately in the room, right? Like they did that one right. I think they kind of have to delineate and separate it from the Wii U game.
They have to do that?
I think they do. I think they have to put out at least another 5 tracks.
See, my whole thing is I think it's you have
battle mode.
This is the definitive edition.
That's true.
Here's battle mode. Here's
all the
Boo,
DLC.
Here's Dry Bones. You are getting things we didn't get before, and this is it, and that's everything. And there's gonna be so many people like me that either liked it, just didn't play that much of it, or didn't play any of the DLC, or didn't play
This is their gap filler for how many months? I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. That is a big question. How many months is it the gap filler for? Comes out the end of April.
Don't know.
So that means that
You have a
from
month till
1 month
E3.
till E3.
Yep.
From everything they're saying about ARMS, they're talking like spring is I think the
Sure.
word's using there, and then summer for Splatoon.
And you've played some of those, right? At the event.
I
Did they
played
have
both.
them?
Yeah. But with ARMS, like I'm like, ARMS could be really good. I think that the make or break for ARMS is going to be how much they focus on motion controls versus how much they focus on the characters. If they focus on the characters and give them interesting backstories and make people give a fuck about them and make you think these characters deserve to be in Smash Bros., they have a hit.
And is there lasting appeal to it from what you've seen, or does it seem a little too gimmicky?
There could be. Playing it without the motion controls is awesome.
Yeah.
It's a deep, fun game.
Yeah.
In the way that I think Splatoon could be. It's not going to be a Mario Kart hit.
Right.
This could be another Splatoon. And if Nintendo keeps doing this, like, for everyone hating on them for just doing Mario and Zelda over and over and over, here's an example. They're doing something different.
Right. Yep.
And I just think that they need more like opportunities to do things like that so that Splatoons can come out and be played by all new audiences, right? But we still need our Metroids, and we need to get that.
And the thing about Nintendo too, that God Zelda is, and you mentioned all the technical stuff in Andromeda, which I'm maybe 10 hours into, and I've seen some really funky,
The old crab walk.
with some really strange stuff. But they release such high quality finished product. I don't see any glitching in anything. it's amazing to me how much they seem to be able to do QA better than other developers do. Like, have you seen anything funky in Zelda?
Well, I mean, that's the thing.
I haven't seen anything
Nintendo games
funky.
are polished,
They're
and like
so
that,
polished.
even
Like,
on the Wii U,
it's crazy to me how polished.
as
they
limited
go.
the abilities that it was. Like Mario 3D World, everything about it was awesome. Like
Dude,
it looked awesome, sounded awesome.
Mario
it all felt
Galaxy.
right.
I mean, those games are so polished.
Even
like
the
there's
bad
nothing
games-
missing.
Star Fox Zero, Mario Power, Tennis, or whatever the fuck it is. Like the games were
was
polished.
Smash,
They were just empty and shallow.
They were, yeah. And I'm not a huge
bad.
Nintendo fanboy in that sense, but you just have to look at the facts of what, I mean, that stuff just doesn't have that same.
Something.
Right. It's-
so
yeah.
with E3, I don't know, man. I feel like this E3 needs to have at least one big punch with a Metroid. Like something
Reggie
for
getting
the
punched?
hardcore. Yeah, real hard for Star Fox Zero.
Just turns around and destroys somebody.
But I think it's going to be a lot of ports, and I think that that's important for the success of the system. I think that we got to get all of the Wii U and 3DS ports that we're going to
absolutely
get
agree.
out of the way, and that will line up this thing to sell the consoles with great attach rates. If they come out with Pokemon Stars, which I think they're going to do, and will it be Switch exclusive is the question. And I think the smartest move they can make is make it Switch exclusive. Keep putting all the other games on 3DS, but if you want Pokemon,
Yeah.
you got to get a fucking
Gotta get
Switch.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and they still have Sun and Stars or Sun and Moon to sell on 3DS if
Right.
that's
Yep.
where they're trying to do them. Those games are still selling.
Yeah, but those Wii U games, again, the Captain Toad and
Which
the
is a great
Yoshi games and all of those are really good games, like that a lot of people never saw, right? Just because I think people were kind of down on the Wii U by that point. But there's some really solid Wii U games that came out in
Bayonetta,
there.
too.
That if I had to go find my Wii U control, I mean, it was sitting in a drawer. I mean, it
Yep.
just was kind of a hassle, right? That was my fear of, like, if they lose this momentum off Zelda, can they get it back? So we'll see.
Yeah, I hope not. I don't think that ARMS is going to come out before E3, even though that's kind of like the window
Spring
they've
you're talking
been
about, yeah, yeah.
about. But then it's like, all right, cool. That means that E3, we're guaranteed release dates for Splatoon and ARMS, and they'll be soon.
I just want some campy snapping and some
We're gonna get
cultural.
We'll get a whole bunch of that. There'll be an
Japanese
awkward
stuff.
I'm
couch.
telling you, now that I'm in,
awkward couch.
now that I'm in for the Switch and I'm in on Nintendo, I want a puppet one again. Give me another puppet direct.
Ooh, that one.
Remember
was,
that one?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's too soon.
Because
with
I watched it and I was like,
Iwata.
well, I know, but I mean, you know.
Dude, that was a heavy lift for them. I mean, that thing was like, they put some time and effort into
They
that
care.
old puppet show.
That was such
That was such a trip. Like, think
a
of
bad direct.
every time I
That
see
was the Star Fox Zero direct.
every time I see something that comes across horrible, I always have this, like, I flash in my head the people sitting, like, in a production meeting, I mean, that are thinking of it going, okay, this is going to be fucking great. Like,
Nailed it, Bob. Let's go to
right,
lunch.
right. And I'm like, can you be that far off what it really, I mean, because obviously very well-intentioned people had what they thought was a great plan.
Yeah.
And then the thing goes just into complete dumpster. It's like, were you that far off the mark on that?
Nintendo has had some of the best E3 conferences of all time. Granted, most of them were in 2002 and 2006,
right.
and I'm
Right.
just naming those years. But those were also some of the best of all time for their time.
Right.
Right now, we're at a place where between Sony's
Oh.
conference last year, even Microsoft's conference last year,
Right.
Sony's the year before, Sony's PSX stuff, we're at a new place, ladies
It's a
and gentlemen.
whole, it's like a whole thing, right?
You cannot
EA's,
fuck this up.
Bethesda's, right?
They are so good. They are so tight. They are giving everybody exactly what
Yep.
they want. They are cutting the fluff, cutting the bullshit. So it's like Ubisoft's last year was not a bad conference in comparison,
by comparison,
to other
right.
years.
Right.
It was a great conference.
Sure.
in
Let's look at
comparison
this
to
game. Let's talk about this game. Let's look at more of this game. Well,
Right.
guys, that seems like you gave
You've kinda covered all your bases
two-thirds
there.
of that could have gone away.
Yep.
You covered all your bases there, guys.
Yeah, so I don't know. I hope that we get a Nintendo Direct. I hope it's freaking awesome. And again, I do think that virtual console is an important thing to talk about. I don't necessarily think that E3 is the right place. And I bet that we see a Direct.
What DRM stuff
Before
have they solved? Because it
E3.
looks like they've solved some now. Because as I go into, it looks like they know
It
some
sounds like
stuff
going
I've bought.
forward, things are going to be good.
Okay.
It's just that for what you've gotten before,
I have no idea how many accounts I have. I have passwords
knows.
for a Nintendo shop,
Nintendo
and then I've
doesn't
got
know.
one for
I have
Nintendo
passwords for a
Direct,
Nintendo
and I've
shop.
got one for. I mean, it's crazy.
Yep.
I have a list of Nintendo what I think are versus I have one Microsoft password.
Yep.
I have one Sony password. I mean, they've got to tighten that shit up,
yeah, they really do.
and it's not rocket science either, right? That some of that stuff is not that hard.
No.
they got to clean it up because I don't want to buy another fucking version of the same game I've bought 50 times. I know they love it, and I'm an idiot, right?
And you're gonna.
And you're gonna. I mean, isn't that the irony of it? I sit back and say that, and like, well, fuck, if they put it out again, I'm buying it again.
Yeah.
What a great business model, right?
You got to do it. You got to be part of it,
Our
right?
fans won't even hold us accountable for the same game I've bought 18 times. I'm going to buy it a 19th time. Right, Kev? Yeah,
Big Kev knows.
Kev
Well,
knows.
Tom, this has been fantastic.
It has
This has been
fantastic.
a great Gamescast.
This has been a good one.
I loved it. You're a fun dude to talk to. Thank you.
I
for
have
supporting
enjoyed,
us.
really enjoyed. You guys have been incredibly gracious. You know, we planned this, geez, long time ago.
Many
I want to
moons
say
ago.
it was like December-ish, and I've always supported you guys, love you guys. You know, what you're doing here really does make a difference, I think, for a lot of people, and really honored you guys let me come do it.
Dude,
Genuinely,
you killed it. This
sincerely
is an
from my
awesome
heart.
episode. You did really
killed
well.
it.
Really enjoyed doing it.
Do you want to pimp anything or?
I got nothing to pimp, man. I'm literally, it's funny. I'm living the fan's dream, right? Of all the times people sit down and watch the show, and I can't count the times I've watched it and felt like I was in the room with you guys, right? It's sort of the
Sure.
appeal of it for me is the people that because I don't have people in my everyday life that can talk at this level and this depth of what's going on. To be here in person is just, it's awesome. Like, I really, really love the fact that you guys allow this to even happen. Like, you bring fans in to do this is really,
Dude,
really cool.
you allow this to happen.
Yeah.
Your
No,
support
it's
on
your support,
Patreon, your
man.
support of just watching a show. Thank you so much for being a
You
part
allow
of
us
this.
to hire a new editor. Shout out to Andy
That's
Cortez.
right. I can't wait to
Our
see
new
where that
editor.
goes. It'll be
Now
awesome.
we can talk about
Can't
that.
wait to haze him.
Oh yeah, he's gonna
Kevin, get the kind of
hazed.
funny pins.
The only thing I will pimp, I'll come on anytime you guys want me to. I'll fly down here, my nickel, come do it. Not
might
that
take
anybody
you up
wants
on
to
that,
see
man.
my
No,
ugly
you-
mug on this show,
You
but
killed it, man. You did a really good job on this. Everybody in the comments, please let him know how good of a job.
oh,
I
that
did.
could be dangerous.
No, it could be good. I think it could be good. Until next time.
I love you.
Let me hit y'all with some of that sweet nasty. If you click right here, you can subscribe to youtube.com/kindoffunnygames for way more of this content. Click here for way more just other kind of funny content, like, I don't know, the morning show and Game Over Greggy. You can click here for Patreon, and bam, you're giving us money. We can do cooler stuff. Andy Cortez can have a clone.